Bought this thing 3 days ago. Hopefully this thing works out good. 18-inch Bandit track chipper.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Let me catch you up to speed on what we're working with today. We got danger close, multiple houses all around these trees that we're gonna drop. Every one of them is too tall to simply fall from the ground, so we're gonna send a climber up and take multiple pieces out until we reach a 66-foot tall stop, then of which we will fall it on the ground, buck it in half or multiple chunks in order to be able to skid it to where the self-loading logging truck can grab it. We are dealing with multiple obstacles in each and every one of these trees. Brand new motorhome inside a brand new garage right there, blacktop driveway, but luckily our new track chipper has rubber tracks. And we also have the 080 there, got the rubber tire stump grinder, and the skid steer is necked around somewhere in here for doing the finishing touches with the masticator. Also introducing our new Superman of a climber, Ramon. So did I mention these trees are 150 feet tall and around 4 plus on the stump? We had to cut that one 16 feet long so I can move it with a 20,000 pound excavator.
You guys do me a favor right now, go ahead, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're aiming for 100,000 subscribers. I would like to get it there, so please hit them buttons. I'd appreciate it. For those of you guys that are actually here to learn about the track chipper and to see what the 18-inch Bandit has to offer, this is going to be a long-winded, just let it run, get the footage, get the information out there for you guys that are possibly wanting to buy one of these things. I'm going to start from the beginning till the end of we got it on this job and we're still on this job, but I'm going to share my experiences along the way. That's how I can drive this thing. How cool is that? Alright guys, we've been on this job for a couple days now, hauling off a load of oak, dump trailer, but we got ourselves a new machine. Finally got a track chipper. It's kind of a funny story I'll share with you guys at the end of it, how we got this thing and who we got it from and all that. But it's 18-inch Bandit track chipper. It's called the Intimidator 1590 XP. I believe it's about 140 horsepower cat engine, compound turbo, and it's remote control, so I can run it from the inside of the excavator. Remote control, so I don't need to have another guy out here running it. So we got a climber up a tree out there, Dad's falling trees that I'm going through, and I'm going to be chipping up all the brush by myself. So now I am it's basically worth 2 people right now because I can control 2 machines at one time. Didn't have to hire anybody, which is the best cool part about it. It's just cheaper to buy another machine than it is to hire somebody.
Well guys, the second official time that I've run the track chipper, I threw the camera up for you guys to bear witness to it. This is actually the first time that I've ran it by myself, running the excavator and the track chipper. So right now I'm charging for 2 machines and 1 operator. Dad's following the trees, helping the climber, doing other stuff, or he could be running the mulcher, cleaning up little loose ends. And the whole idea of getting a track chipper, it's been something we've been talking about for a long time now, and I'm stoked to finally have it. Look, I got this stick stuck in there. Get out of there. I am one guy running 2 machines. Very efficient that way. And normally what we would do is I would be running the excavator and I would be feeding whoever, probably Dad, running the skid steer or the Prime Tech with the masticator head on it. You know, that's 2 machines, 2 guys, and then, you know, this way it's so much more efficient. Time is saved. It's just a lot better off. And these little grapplefuls that I'm shoveling to this thing are more than what the skid steer likes to handle. And it'll take multiple passes, takes a little bit extra time. And when you do multiple passes with the mulcher, if you don't know what a mulcher is, it is pretty much a rototiller that is aggressive and it can grind up trees. It's got carbide teeth on it, or it has knives in the center, which is what we typically run. But I'll be feeding this brush piles into this thing, and the chipper only needs 1 pass. So it's that much faster because it only needs 1 pass versus at least 3 or 4 with what a masticator would do. These brush piles that I'm feeding into it, normally I can run a full grapple full and it'll take the Prime Tech a couple minutes to grind it up. It's not that bad. The Prime Tech's very efficient at it, but in the little bit of time you guys have been watching me, I've done way more than what I could do shoveling to the Prime Tech.
All that brush and stuff, I took about 15 minutes I spent with this guy, and I swapped over. Dad took the excavator and I just mulched this. Took about another 5 minutes. Real clean look and took minimal effort, so this thing is definitely paying off. But I gotta get fired back up. Gotta go through a little sequence to get her fired up. Gotta say okay. Gotta put on radio mode so that my remote works, and then you gotta engage this thing.
went ahead and let Dad take the controls of the excavator for a little bit. I'm still running the controls for the track chipper. In some situations, the previous owner would have the groundman running the track chipper, basically because like this right here, trying to shovel in thick amount of brush, I can open up the feed wheels wide so that that brush can slide in there easier, or if the brush is kind of spongy and it's not getting a good bite, I can clamp down on it so that it'll drag it in there. That's a little bit difficult to do when you're trying to push and pull with the excavator. But I can also point the chute in a different direction. I can lift the tip for it to shoot farther or closer. But if you're going to be cutting down like lodgepole kind of stuff, just a bunch of tall skinny trees like what's in the back behind the excavator there, you could totally run the excavator and the track chipper. I put a lot more hours on the 080 than my dad has. I probably put about 97-98% of the hours, and I've just gotten more used to it, so I'm getting better at running both machines at one time. But you can tell Dad's kind of tiptoeing right here. He doesn't want to hurt the chipper. But this thing has got 2,000 hours on the chipper, and I've clocked about 2,700 hours on the excavator. This thing has been fed with an excavator all its life. It's a little bit sketchy trying to feed this thing by hand, but you can see the feed wheel in there just spinning. I could open and close like that. I'm trying to get it to grab a little something, but eventually he's just going to have to push it in there with the machine. Pay attention and look real close. Way up this tree, old Ramon's up there limbing these things. Takes him a good little bit to limb these things and take the top out and chunk it down. He's doing about 2 of these big trees a day, but that's just what you got to do. We're definitely keeping sure that his rope is not getting anywhere near the excavator or the chipper. We take good precautions of that. Also, vbeltandson merch available at vbeltandson.com. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cool to see this setup, watching it on film. I'm trying to say that as humble as I can. A lot of hard work trying to make things happen and just never quit. Seeing these little machines that we do have in action. I'm running the chipper and the excavator. Dad's over there running the skid steer. Don't mind that. That's the owner's dog. It's always out and about. Well, this was the plan from the beginning. Get the track chipper to take care of all the big stuff. It makes quick work of pretty much anything. It's 18 inch is what it can technically handle. Most of the time I feel comfortable. I'll throw in like a 12 to 14 inch stick. You see how I drive it up there. That's so freaking cool to watch. All these this brush, you typically chase it around a little bit with the masticator, and this thing just straight in and out, and the chipper takes care of it. And all the little stuff that is just a complete pain to pick up with the excavator and the grapple makes quick work out of it with having the skid steer, because there's nothing big for it, so it's pretty much like mowing the grass, and I'm over there just shoveling all kinds of brush into this chipper, and it don't care. It runs at about 174, 172 degrees engine temp. It's not hydraulic, so it doesn't really care. It's all engine.
Let me poke it with this guy here so I can push that crap in. I bet you this would actually go through it. Open the yoke. Take that chunk. Oh yeah, she gone. I'll let you rotate this one a little bit more, and then we'll know it'll fit, and we'll just put it through the chipper.
So both my dad and I and the climber, we all have like the same helmet with communications in it, and we came up with this idea, just talking. He's gonna chew them down about halfway so that I can just throw them through the chipper, because they'll fit now. He can grind it all the way up, but then you're left with a little sliver, and this I'm left with nothing.
Oh.
And guess what?
I sucked it in. I think it stalled it.
I stalled it. It sucked getting it free, but I got it out.
I honestly think that, well, obviously we got another tractor involved, so we're running 3 tractors, which is 1 more than normal versus the 2, and I think we're twice as fast versus just the 12 shovel into the excavator. and cleaning up that mess. That was what we had planned the whole time, was to be able to shovel the bigger stuff through this, all the branches and everything, because you end up chasing around branches with mulcher. Generally speaking, you always have a little bit of stuff left over. So just straight off the bat, throw it through the chipper, and all the little stuff that's annoying to pick up and throw through the chipper, that's where the skid steer comes in with the mulcher head on it, or the Prime Tech or whatever's here at the time. But V-Belt doesn't get to run the excavator too often, but he's making something out of it right now. Getting a little sporty right there. Might have to go push that for you. What do you think? Oh. You get on level ground, you might be able to slide it. Yeah, well, you're fighting gravity having it tilted so much on the turret. But watch that rope going to your cedar tree up there also. You actually hit it if you get a little closer. But this thing, fully remote control. All I have to do that's not remote control is I have to get out and turn the key and push the clutch in to start it up. Other than that, I have all the controls on here. It's actually got a winch on it, which probably end up taking off. This is Ramon, tree climber. He's a good guy. But this thing's in the way for loading up with the excavator. It'd probably be nice, but it doesn't even have a winch line in it, because that's what it did in its previous owners. It just was fed with an excavator. So get the winch out of there, but I do have a control for it on here. Fire it back up. So if the brush is too thick and it can't just grab it, I can push down with the hydraulics and it'll crush the brush, giving it the traction it needs to suck it all the way in there. Even go up there, aside from moving the whole chute up and down, I can turn it left and right, and I can control the tip. And the coolest part of all is I don't have to get out to drive it around. I can just sit in the excavator, making me worth twice as normal. Just one man, one machine. Now I'm one man, two machines. I can drive it around from the seat of the excavator, which is pretty dang slick. We stalled it out once, but I was pushing something kind of big through it and didn't quite have enough time to stop the last little bit before it sucked it in there. If it bogs it down, it'll stop it and back it up a little bit, let it rev back up, and then give it another jolt. It's a 18-inch. Highly doubt we'll be pushing 18-inch stuff through there. That log that he's dealing with is a little bit out of this thing's technical capacity by like 6 inches. This thing's gonna be sweet though. Looking forward to this on many jobs. We've always talked about having one of these, and it's nice that it all worked out. And this was like a perfect job to test her out on. We put 9 hours on it on this job. We've been here 5 days. Big leaguing it. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I was going to give you guys a little behind the story of how we got this thing, who we got it from, and why we went with the 18-inch track chipper. But basically, we had been talking about buying a track chipper for the longest time, and this exact machine fits the bill perfectly for what we were really aiming for. It's not too big for me to haul with a gooseneck. It only weighs 14,000 pounds. It's freaking wide though, 102 wide, which is, if you know, that's how wide trailers typically are, unless you got a odd, you know, ag trailer that's wider than that. But 14,000, I can haul it. Really, I wanted this for the volume of material this thing can handle. It's perfect. But I did like the idea of getting a smaller one, maybe small enough that my dad, non-CDL, he could tow it to a job. But then I thought maybe we can meet on a middle ground. We can get one that I can haul on the gooseneck with the small 12,000 pound excavator. The one you guys see in this video is a 20,000 pound excavator. There's no way I can haul two machines with one of those on there. I can haul about 23,000 pounds on the gooseneck with the 5500 truck. But that's what I wanted to do. So when I roll up to a job, I already got both machines ready to rock and roll, so to start feeding brush. But we got a call, or a text rather, from my buddy Johnny. Big boy. Going home. You guys know the truck. Little boy's leaving. Thank you, Johnny. Got ourselves a new item. Hell yeah, brother. And Johnny is, I've always been looking up to his business like profile. He's got excavator, he's got the skid steer, and he's always had this awesome track chipper. He's got a low boy so he can haul a 20K machine and this. And I still look up to Johnny and everything, respect him for what he's done. His career choices have changed, and he sent me a photo of all his equipment, and it said moving out of state. I don't know if he wants me to share that with you guys on here, but if you guys wanted some of his stuff, you're too late. He's already sold all of it except for his low boy. What he's done, you guys have seen him on the channel before. He's hauled the skidder a couple times for us, and I've featured this exact chipper on here. And I've talked to him for the last year about track chippers and stuff to get, and it's funny to see that we bought his track chipper. So also thanks to you guys for watching my videos. I finally spent some of my YouTube money and went halves on this thing with Dad. I like to buy the trucks, which I've obviously been spending too much money on, and he likes to buy mulchers. So we got that joke. He always makes fun of me for buying more diesel trucks, and I'm like, well, stop buying more mulchers. I think we're about evens on mulchers versus trucks. But this worked out perfect. Yeah, I look at piles of, brush, and I think, well, with the Prime Tech, that's about 45 minutes of work for us, which is pretty quick for the size of these piles of brush. In those same piles of brush, I could go up to them by myself with the track chipper and the excavator, and it's about a 15-20 minute job by myself. Dad can still be out there falling trees or grinding more brush up somewhere else, but it's just crazy how much more efficient a track chipper is. Like I said multiple times in this video, it's one and done. As soon as the brush goes in there, she's gone. And what happened when I stalled it out there, like, it reverses, it auto reverses, but if it doesn't catch it in time, the feed wheel, or not the feed wheel, but the actual drum can suck the brush in there if there's no feed wheel to stop it. So it sucked that last little bit of a chunk in there, and I didn't have a ton of an issue trying to get it out, but I'm sure it'll happen again. That was, a 15-inch, chunk of wood. It wasn't full diameter. We did grind it down with the little skid steer, but nevertheless, she still got her done. I'm very impressed with it. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit about this. I know people like to hit me up about questions on excavators, about skid steers, about Prime Techs, and I've had some questions about track chippers since I posted some stuff on my social media. Also, Samson_Andrew or vbeltandson on Instagram if you guys want to see some updates before I post them on YouTube. But long-winded outro. Did I mention the thing's got 2 turbos on it? We'll see you guys on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out vbeltandson.com. I'm not even wearing one of my hats. I got a t-shirt. There we go. Wearing a t-shirt. Check them out. Working man's clothes. See you guys.